Hey my dear pirates, and in today's video we're going to talk about Sabo and what he wanted to reveal about InSama, and what was so important that Sabo saw in his investigations that InSama simply obliterated Lulusia's island. Did it now definitely cost Sabo his life? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, but first of all, so if you want to be a pirate king like me and achieve eternal glory, go ahead and press the like button with all the power of your Akuma no Mi. And if you're new here, my dear sailor, already subscribe to the channel and don't forget to activate the notification bell so you do not miss any new videos from Anime Joy Boy, okay? Then join this crew that will dominate the entire Grand Line and the New World. Now without further ado, let's get to this epic video. And well, my dear pirates, after many years, we finally had the return of Sabo, one of the most beloved characters in One Piece. And as you would expect, Sabo wasn't dead. As we have seen, Sabo was still on his journey to discover the secrets about the Navy, the world government, and InSama. What he was doing in the kingdom of Lulusia, we still don't know, but apparently this was part of the plan to reveal to the world one of the biggest secrets we've had since the lost century, and Goldie Roger's own treasure in Laugh Tale. Sabo was about to reveal all about the pillar that rules the world, InSama. However, as we have seen, the world government managed to intercept Sabo's connection to Dragon and the revolutionaries, and thus InSama and the world government discovered Sabo's whereabouts, and after scratching the island of Lulusia from the map, the order was given to simply destroy it. The island in a definitive way. In other words, my dear sailors, we're happy with Sabo's return. As I said earlier, he is a character that many people love. Besides, of course, he carries Ace's memory when he contained the power of Mera Mera no Mi, the fruit of flames that belonged to his brother. But did this return have an expiration date? Was Sabo's return just to give us a glimpse of the power that the pirates' enemies possess, to make it clear to us that Luffy's path will still be very difficult? Yeah, this could really have happened. Maybe Sabo really lost his life in a definitive way. However, there is another possibility. If Sabo fooled all of us, including the revolutionaries themselves, when he disappeared for the first time, apparently this could have happened again. After all, if he saw something he knew was dangerous and needed to make that call, he might as well not have called from Lulusia. Yes, my dear sailors, maybe that picture where Sabo's face saying about the sky being dark and seeing all that luminosity of the rays that fell on Lulusia could mean that he was close, but not literally on that island. But then you might be asking yourself, so Sabo literally let all the people of Lulusia die? Calm down, folks. No, I don't think it happened, and I'll explain what I think about it. And basically speaking, I believe that Sabo allowed the Navy to track him for one simple reason, and that reason is Den Den Mushi White. We saw in this character how some sailors even mentioned the fact that Sabo was not using a white Den Den Mushi. And as we know, among all the Den Den Mushi models, the black models are used for tracking, while the white ones are used to inhibit this tracking when used together with any other model of Den Den Mushi. And look, throughout the work of One Piece, who most used this specific type of Den Den Mushi was precisely the revolutionaries. So there's no reason why Sabo, who is a revolutionary, doesn't have any Den Den Mushi in his possession to make these calls, or even if he didn't, he would never make such a call, as important as it is, knowing he would be tracked by the Navy, putting an entire nation at risk. So because of this reason, I believe that Sabo really wanted the Navy to find him, and about the people of Lulusia, most likely he would have already warned and evacuated the entire island before making the call. Because if we look closely at the map, there are two other islands near the kingdom of Lulusia. Of course, this is just a theory, a possibility. Comment what you think about these possibilities. But well, if that didn't really happen and Lulusia's end was really tragic, as Sabo is a Logia user, most likely he wouldn't die with this attack like that, but he would be in a very complicated state. But now comes the most important part of the whole story. What is this absurd revelation that made the people who rule the world act so rigidly to the point of decimating an entire island? After all, my dear pirate, this is a great possibility that Morgans had receiving the call at the time it happened. And if this really happened, the world government and InSama's performance in the way it was done could end up being spread all over the world. That is, everyone can finally know that the world government is actually evil, and maybe that's Sabo's real plan. So Sabo was certainly seen and knows something really important, and he wants the world to know this truth at all costs. The question that remains is, what is this truth? InSama has the third ancestral weapon, Uranus. In the manga pages where Sabo is in contact with Dragon, he says many things, and one of them is that he saw someone sitting on the empty throne in Mary Joyce, and that this practically revealed the existence of a king under the whole world. That is, in fact, there is someone who gives orders to the world government and consequently gives orders to the Navy and its admirals. We, the viewers, already know this, but the common characters in the world of One Piece are unaware of this information, and this information will begin to be passed around the world by the words of dragons. Not to mention the destruction of Lulusia that will raise many questions, whether with Morgan's knowing something or not. But Sabo hints that he wanted to mention even more things, one of which could be the revelation about InSama's physical form and whether this figure is a man or a woman, in addition to revealing the powers of this mysterious being. And that power may be the long-awaited by us, the third ancestral weapon, Uranus. And I said in the last video, quite possibly, Uranus is already under the possession of the world government. And when I mentioned that I raised 2 hypotheses, but now I have 2 more theories to go along with those hypotheses. The hypothesis is that InSama controlled Uranus, and the second is that Uranus could be Enel, and he would be the other definitive weapon of the world government, much because the attack on Lulusia is very similar to the powers that Enel released in Upper Yard, there in the Skypiea arc. However, there is a possibility that InSama is the ancestral weapon Uranus itself, or that we have actually seen Uranus in action in the past, only in another way, and only now we see her using her powers. In fact, let's analyze each hypothesis. If InSama is really Uranus, that means that maybe the theory about the Gorosei keeping InSama as a kind of High King to justify his action is true, because that way they could use a being or a weapon which can being manipulated to do their will, and with that to have someone to blame if something goes wrong, saying that in fact this being, InSama, is the real enemy of the world. In other words, InSama would be the scapegoat of the world government. Of course, this theory is very simple and would need more information for it to make more sense, in case we have already seen the action of Uranus in the past. This theory does make more sense, and that may be what Sabo really wanted to reveal. Yeah guys, we're talking about that huge rocky object that sucked Capone Beiji's entire vessel when he entered the New World. What could very well be Uranus controlled by InSama, demonstrating one of his powers? If we look closely, there are several protrusions under the rock sphere, looking like turbines or even cannons. This is one of the biggest mysteries of One Piece to this day. And after seeing the attack on Lulusia and how the sky darkened before the attack, it could really be that the sphere is indeed Uranus being controlled by InSama. Of course, it might just be a planetoid, or some crazy island like Skypiea. But I would say we actually saw Uranus in action then, and now again, and that's what Sabo wanted to talk about. But there is still one more possibility, which is InSama has the most powerful fruit in the world. Yes, my dear pirate, there really is a huge possibility that InSama has the power of the devil fruit, but not just any devil fruit, the most powerful of them all. Of course, I can't even imagine what would be the power of the strongest devil fruit that Oda can create. But if InSama had a devil fruit, and if that was the secret Sabo wanted to reveal, I would say that the power of this fruit would be something related to sea level control. This would be InSama's ultimate weapon, for if she can't take over the world using the world government and the marines and not even using the ancestral weapons power, I would say that to keep herself safe and away from any danger, InSama should have the power to control the seas, to be able to decrease or increase the seas in the world. This could answer why Mary Joyce is at the highest place in the world. This would reveal why Wano climbed grandiose barriers to defend itself, and also Water 7 was always climbing its structure over the centuries to avoid the sea. So much so that Skypiea, Wano, and Zou, which are countries where the world government has no link, are the exact same countries that could prevent a sudden rise in the sea level. So InSama's power to be the fruit of the seas is something that really makes sense. And guys, about InSama having a devil fruit, I have an interesting theory about it, but I'm going to need a whole video to explain it, so stay tuned to the channel. In the next video, I'll bring more about InSama and his possible relationship with all the devil fruits. Does she have a direct relationship with these fruits? Wait. But anyway, there are more things that Sabo could tell us about InSama, especially about the huge straw hat that we saw in the first appearance of this mysterious being. But now, I want to know your opinion about everything we talked about here today. Did Sabo really die, or did he deceive the world government? And InSama? Does this mysterious being already have the power over Uranus, one of the 3 ancestral weapons, or does her power come from the devil fruit? But now I want to know what you think, so leave it in the comments. But of course, if you made it this far, it's because you like the content, so it doesn't hurt to subscribe to our channel and become one of the more members of our fleet, my dear sailor. And of course, do not forget to press the like button. That helps a lot in spreading the video and the channel. So help us to become the largest fleet of pirates here on YouTube, okay? A big hug for everyone, and until the next video.